This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You guys can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove on the top of the screen and everything we're talking about here. Okay, what we're going to go over today is a lot of news that has been coming out over the days, weeks, or what have you. But we're going to really lay out here what's unfolding in front of our eyes. I mean, there is a huge rollout that's happening, a convergence of the traditional side of the markets and this new digital asset space. It's pretty remarkable, and I think we've got the right stuff laid out today to take a look at what's going on here. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. First of all, it's 29 cents this morning. That's right. Fiat Link's got us at 29 cents. You know what? I know a lot of people hear us talk about, high price XRP and how far it can go, and Ripple can be $1 trillion company. It can. It can, and I know it can because I've seen other companies do it too. And I know that Ripple's got the right things in place, the right people, the right vision, and the right execution to make that happen. There's no doubt about it. Let's go ahead and get into the news today and take a look at this. We start with the one and only Ashish Birla. Ripple SVP of Product and Corporate Development said, "We're going to see a melding of old world and new. It's only a matter of time before banks offer custody services, acquire companies with those capabilities, and offer crypto lending as they see consumer interest in DeFi, decentralized finance." He makes such a great point here, and I want to cover not only this point today, but a couple other aspects that are happening as well when we talk about a convergence, or a melding of the old world and new, because it really is pertinent to what's going on here. Such a great comment from Ashish. So first of all, Grayscale, which is released last week, I believe it was the first TV campaign for mainstream media for cryptocurrency investment fund. History being made right before your eyes. The rollout is happening right now as we speak. It's pretty remarkable, and we can be so close to something that sometimes you can't see the forest because of the trees, right? And that's really, I think, where we're at here, a lot of us. And we hear so much news, and a lot of us follow this information in this space so closely that we can miss the overview sometimes. And today is one of these videos where I feel like, hey, you know what? Let's take it up to 40, 50,000 feet and overlook this thing and make sure we're not missing the larger narrative of what's taking place right before our eyes. Okay, so Grayscale announced that its Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin Trust are now publicly tradable. Now, any investor with access to U.S. securities can access these cryptocurrencies. How about that? How about that for the old world and new coming together? I go on to my Fidelity app this morning, and this is how you know crypto is about to see obscene amounts of money move into the entire space. And I forgot to write money in the comment, but that's just like me, ADD. But here it is, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, common stock. Look at this. On Fidelity, it's remarkable. That is the old coming together with the new. We know Fidelity's partnered with Coinbase. We know Coinbase intends very soon at some point to IPO. By the way, Coinbase on Link2, I looked this morning as well, is sold out. It's sold out. And then you have Link2. Link2's getting ready to do, they're doing the wallet they talked about when I had Bill Saris on the show. They're doing a wallet with Uphold where accredited investors will be able to buy stock directly from the wallet from their crypto holdings. The old world and the new. It's happening right before our eyes. And I have to feel like with this convergence, just as we're seeing the OCC and Brian Brooks be so vocal about really putting out a federal charter that really encompasses all of these new payment companies, which are the Venmos, the PayPals, and even moving into the digital space. and encompassing them and really bringing a level playing field by holding them to the same heightened prudential that the banks are is really going to make for a more consistent experience at the end of the day, whether you're a company or a consumer, right? So I think that's really important. And it's really important to know that, you know, when you see the convergence of something like Link2 working with an Uphold, you can't help but feel like at some point, this whole coming together of taking the good from the digital asset space, the 24-hour market, the 365, ability to trade, right? Eventually, I would think the SEC is going to have to address this accredited investor level and really start to relax some of this, if not all of it, because all of us can participate in crypto. So why can't all of us participate in the traditional side of the market? And I think that's the bigger notion right there. So I think there will be good things to come. And I think when you see a Link2 and Uphold positioning for these things and beginning to offer these new kinds of style products, I look forward to the idea that maybe we do see that convergence show up on the regulatory side where they recognize the advancement of what's taking place and allow the best parts of the new digital asset space to come into this side for all of us. So, okay, so moving on here. Then when we think about Ashish's comment about a melding of the old world and the new, well, look at what happened here. Goldman Sachs FX senior executive joins Ripple. A Goldman Sachs senior executive for FX, after I believe 7 years, leaves a traditional company that is a monster pillar in this space. You don't go to Goldman Sachs and usually leave unless you go somewhere like the SEC, like Jay Clayton did, right? I mean, it's pretty remarkable. It's like you've reached a pinnacle when you get somewhere like Goldman Sachs, right? Who does that? I'm pretty sure that this gentleman leaving and going to Ripple says massive things to me about what he understands about what Ripple is positioned to do. And when you understand that this gentleman's expertise happened to lie in the FX markets, and you understand that the ability of Ripple is to solve that friction within the FX markets and cross-border payments and everything else, as well as many other use cases that it's designed to do and handle, I think you understand why this gentleman decides to go to a company like Ripple. Pretty remarkable what we see happening. So these acquisitions and mergers just aren't companies. They're also really, really strong people that come from the traditional side, just like we've seen Craig Phillips and a couple others from the Treasury Department leave the Treasury Department and go to work for Ripple. Again, from the regulatory side, you're seeing from the traditional side, not the traditional side of the markets, but you're seeing from the regulatory side, move into this innovative side to this company, knowing full well that they didn't have to do that. I believe the reason they did that is because they understand the importance of what Ripple and XRP will serve to the entire digital asset space. Let's keep this moving. Then we have Global ID. That's why Global ID is thrilled to join PayID, Open Payments Coalition, an initiative to simplify global payments that includes more than 40 leading companies across tech, finance, and nonprofit sectors that reaches 100 million consumers worldwide. They're simplifying everything especially for the traditional markets and the traditional companies in those markets to be able to easily get over into the new digital sector, right? And this new digital payment rails. This is just one way. As a reminder, Ripple holds the PayID trademark. So Ripple is behind the whole coalition. Tom Emmer, congressman, today will lead the first ever crypto town hall, led by a congressman. Wow. I don't know. I mean, hey, if you focus on price, it's 29 cents. I'd be a little frustrated too. But if you're looking at all the things that we're discussing here, it's pretty damn exciting to me. So let's keep this moving here. Akon is ready to build a $6 billion cryptocurrency city in Senegal. This is remarkable. I mean, to me, I think, this is so important because these things like this that seem a little siloed or a little isolated, imagine the learning and the information that will come from such a concept or an experiment that's put to use by building a cryptocurrency city. It's remarkable. Okay, over here we have RBL Bank of India partners with Accenture to build a digital bank infrastructure. Guys, if you have not gotten on the monthly newsletter, it comes out this week. And there will be a link to the Diana Adachi interview, which is straight fire. The conversation that we had was remarkable. Diana Adachi, formerly of Accenture, did the due diligence on Ripple when they came on the scene. She explains that due diligence and clearing them and understanding what their role was Accenture basically giving them a green light to the rest of the financial sector that this company's good. And then we had a further discussion about what this space looks like going further in the future and what Ripple and XRP's role might be in that. So make sure you get on that monthly newsletter. There's going to be exclusive content in there for all of you. So let me go ahead and get this back out of the way. Now, keeping this going, Spencer H. reminds us about the FedNow system, which has been approved, and they are continuing to walk towards that. They have a date here is September 2020, and I believe that may be a date for trials and pilot testing, because they do list inside the document, and I'm not going to pull up the PDF, but they do list inside the PDF, and you can go on my Twitter and get this information. Thank you to Spencer H. He's amazing. You should follow him. But now, if you look down into the PDF, they still say that they're anticipating a 23-24 launch, be ready, full go at 23-24. I don't see it. I mean, I see this happening a lot sooner than that. And that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. We shall see. But at the end of the day, I think it's important to understand that they're walking towards it. The trials and the pilots and all those things are going to start happening between now and whenever they say that they're actually going to launch it. Maybe it is 23-24, who knows, but I don't think it takes that long. Thank you to Spencer. Let's keep this going. And as a reminder, inside of that document, the PDF, they talk about the tech being interoperable with the ISO 2022 standards body. And I want to remind everybody that Ripple is the only company that is a part and elected to the ISO standards body committee to be the first member focused on distributed ledger technology. That's pretty important to remember. Okay. Now, with that being said, while all of that is happening, last week, Mickey B and myself did a show on this document from the IMF. Shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf, DJ Peter Vass, and Michael Val. 5 links for a lot of the information we discuss here. We covered this last week, and we went pretty in depth on this, and there's a great video that we did on it, and I will put it in the link in the comments. I'll put a link to it in the comments. It's this top video here, the thumbnail with the genie lamp, and it is really, really remarkable. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend you go watch that video. We break down a lot of what is in this document for you about Ripple and RippleNet being recommended as the innovative technology that can really help to push the financial sector to where it needs to go to, because it's so broken. All right. Now, there is the video at the top, like I said, and I want to finish with a final fun thought, because we started with Ashish Birla and Ashish Birla's great comment. And we're going to end with Ashish Birla and another great comment. He says, "Prove me wrong. People who bake raisin cookies have a hard time making friends." Well, you know what, Ashish? I completely agree with you, my friend. And if we lived closer, we probably would be really best friends. Because the reality is, there's nothing worse than going to someone's house and they offer you a cookie that's laid out and you're like, oh, this is awesome. And you take the cookie and you bite into it thinking it's a chocolate chip cookie, but it's got raisins in it. I can remember that happening years ago. We were at a relative's house, and I bit into a cookie thinking it was a chocolate chip, and it had raisins. It was oatmeal raisin, but it looked like a chocolate chip. I looked right at my son. I said, don't take off your coat. He said, why not? I said, because we're not staying. People who bake raisin cookies absolutely have a hard time making friends. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Shout out to Ashish Burla. I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below and make sure you share with someone you know. I'll catch all of you on the next one.